Hi, I'm Aitana. I've always been the type to give everything to my job, probably to a fault. For 3 years, I poured my heart and soul into Premier Marketing, building our client roster from a handful of local businesses to major regional accounts. My desk is covered with thank you notes and client testimonials. Not that I'm bragging, but numbers don't lie. My campaigns consistently outperformed targets by at least 30%. I was organizing my weekly client report when Elena stopped by my desk, coffee in hand. You hear about the department meeting this afternoon? Wasn't on the calendar until an hour ago. I shook my head. No, but Marcus probably just wants to go over quarterly goals again. Elena leaned closer, lowering her voice. Something feels off. I overheard him on the phone earlier. Sounded like he was talking about restructuring. Restructuring? We just had our best quarter ever. I know, just watch your back in there. I laughed it off. After 3 years of exceeding every target, mentoring the junior staff, and building our strongest client relationships, I wasn't worried. Just last month, Marcus had called my work irreplaceable during the team meeting. Around 2, I helped Jake, one of our new marketing associates, fix his presentation for the Morgan account. I don't know how you do it. You make it look so easy. Trust me, it wasn't always. But you learn what clients want. They need to feel heard before anything else. By the time the department meeting rolled around at 4, I'd already fielded 3 client calls, revised 2 campaign proposals, and sent a strategy document to Richard at Nextcore, our biggest client. Marcus arrived 10 minutes late, unusual for him. Even stranger was the woman following him. Designer suit, perfect hair, and a smile that didn't reach her eyes. Team, thanks for gathering on short notice. I'm excited to announce some changes to our department structure that will position us for the next phase of growth. My phone buzzed, a text from Elena. Don't like this. As you know, client management is the backbone of our success, Marcus continued, which is why I'm thrilled to introduce Vanessa Winters, our new Senior Client Relations Director. Wait, that was basically my job. I felt my stomach drop. Vanessa comes to us from Apex Solutions with an impressive background in relationship management. She'll be taking point on our major accounts effective immediately. The room went quiet. I could feel eyes darting my way. Aitana, I'd like you to transition all client materials to Vanessa by the end of the week. You'll be moving to our campaign analytics team, focusing on back-end metrics. Back-end metrics? After 3 years of building client relationships? After becoming the face of Premier Marketing to our biggest accounts? Any questions? Marcus asked, not making eye contact with me. I sat frozen as Vanessa took the seat next to him, my usual spot during meetings. I'm looking forward to working with all of you, Vanessa said, her voice smooth as polished marble. I've heard wonderful things about this team. As the meeting wrapped up, Elena squeezed my shoulder. My office. 5 minutes, she whispered. I nodded, still processing what had just happened. 3 years of loyalty, countless late nights, client relationships I'd built from scratch, all handed over to someone who hadn't even been here long enough to find the break room. I slipped into Elena's office and closed the door behind me, my hands still shaking. What the actual hell just happened? Elena pushed a cup of water toward me. Politics, that's what. I did some digging while you were in shock. Vanessa is Marcus's wife's college roommate's daughter. Are you serious? So I'm being pushed aside for nepotism? Looks that way. Question is, what are you going to do about it? I took a deep breath. First, I'm going to be professional. Then I'm going to watch her crash and burn. The next morning, Vanessa strolled in an hour late, clutching a designer coffee. Can you walk me through these client profiles? They all look the same to me. I watched her eyes glaze over as I explained our biggest client, Richard's business. When her phone buzzed, she immediately checked it, completely tuning me out. That afternoon, I started a document titled Performance Observations and made my first entry. By day 3, the document had 17 entries. Elena caught me adding to it during lunch. Doing a little journaling? Evidence collection. Yesterday, she told the Hendricks team that the campaign I designed was her concept from her previous position. Classic. I heard she bombed with Lisa in accounting too. Couldn't explain basic budget allocations. Add it to the list. Can you get me those emails where Marcus praised my next core strategy? The one Vanessa's now claiming credit for. Already on it. My friend in IT owes me a favor. The following week, Richard from NextCore called me directly. Aitana, what's going on over there? This new woman couldn't answer basic questions about our campaign metrics. I'm sorry to hear that, Richard. Unfortunately, I've been reassigned. Reassigned? The campaign was tracking perfectly under you. During the department meeting, Vanessa fumbled through her presentation. When questioned about conversion rates, she froze completely. I believe those numbers are still being processed, she stammered. Marcus jumped in. What Vanessa means is that we're implementing a new tracking system. Aitana, since you're handling back-end metrics now, perhaps you can provide those figures next time. I nodded pleasantly while adding another note to my growing file. Later, Elena slipped me a folder. Emails from legal about the telecom project. Vanessa told them you never completed the compliance review, but I found your sign-off from 2 weeks ago. Perfect. Add it to the pile. I've been recording every client complaint. 7 major accounts have called me directly this week alone. You know she's been having closed-door meetings with Marcus every afternoon, right? Let her enjoy it while it lasts. I'm building a case that not even family connections can save. 2 weeks into my documentation project, my phone rang with Richard's name flashing on the screen. Aitana, we've got a crisis. The Horizon campaign is showing completely wrong demographics, and your replacement isn't answering her phone. That doesn't sound right. I checked those numbers myself before the transition. Well, someone screwed up, and we're presenting to our board tomorrow morning. I need this fixed ASAP. I glanced around to make sure no one was watching. Send me the reports. I'll look at them unofficially. 20 minutes later, I spotted the problem. Vanessa had merged 2 different datasets incorrectly. I fixed it, took screenshots of her error, then sent Richard the solution. Lifesaver as always. Why aren't you handling our account anymore? Great question. Listen, there's a quarterly review meeting next Friday with your team and our executives. Will you be there? Wouldn't miss it. Why? Just make sure you ask lots of specific questions about campaign performance. The next morning, my inbox dinged with a message from Elena. Check this out. Spreadsheet showing how Marcus has been adjusting performance metrics. Your campaigns were downgraded. Vanessa's inflated. Got this from my buddy in finance who noticed the discrepancies. I downloaded the file immediately, adding it to my growing collection. Time to accelerate my plan. I spotted Vanessa at the coffee machine looking frazzled. Hey Vanessa, just wanted to let you know Richard from NextCore mentioned they're planning to ask about the cross-platform integration during Friday's presentation. Might want to brush up on that. Cross-platform integration? Is that in my notes somewhere? Should be. It's only their top priority for Q3. It wasn't, but she didn't need to know that. Later, I casually mentioned to Marcus that I'd heard Richard was concerned about recent campaign performance. Nothing to worry about. Vanessa's handling it. Great. I'm sure she's got all the technical details down pat by now. I spent the next few days calling clients, carefully recording their frustrations. Aitana, between us, this new arrangement isn't working, said Melissa from Strong Arm Fitness. Can I email you my thoughts about the transition? For the record? Absolutely. Be as specific as possible. By Thursday, I had testimonials from 9 clients. I forwarded them all to my personal email, then organized my evidence into a presentation. The morning of the quarterly review, Vanessa looked like she might throw up. The integration stuff, I can't find any notes on that. Really? It's fundamental to their strategy. Richard will definitely ask about it. During the meeting, Richard played his part beautifully, peppering Vanessa with specific questions. She stumbled through vague answers until he asked about cross-platform metrics. She froze completely, mouth opening and closing like a fish. Marcus jumped in. We're still finalizing those numbers. Actually, Richard cut in. I was told this was your top priority. Is there someone else who can address this? The executives shifted uncomfortably. Marcus looked panicked. Perhaps Aitana can help? Richard suggested. She seemed to understand our needs perfectly. I smiled politely. I'd be happy to assist, but I'm no longer assigned to the account, though I do have some relevant data here if it would help the meeting proceed. As I pulled out my folder, I caught Elena's small nod from across the room. Everything was falling into place for the quarterly executive review next week. The quarterly executive review arrived, and the conference room was packed with the entire leadership team, key clients, and department heads. Vanessa sat beside Marcus, both looking tense. I took a seat near the back, laptop ready. CEO Peterson opened the meeting. Before we begin reviewing department performances, I understand there are some client concerns that need addressing. Richard from NextCore stood up. Yes, there are. Since the account transition from Aitana to Vanessa, we've experienced numerous issues with campaign execution and communication. Marcus quickly interjected. We're working through a standard adjustment period. It's been a month, Richard cut him off. And we're not the only ones with concerns. Melissa from Strongarm Fitness nodded. Our last 3 emails went unanswered for days. I raised my hand. If I may, I've compiled some relevant information that might provide context. Marcus shot me a warning look. This isn't the appropriate forum. Actually, CEO Peterson said, I'd like to hear what Aitana has to say. I connected my laptop to the projector. Over the past month, I've documented a pattern of mismanagement and favoritism that's directly impacting client relationships. My presentation appeared on screen emails, performance reports, client testimonials, and the spreadsheet showing manipulated metrics. As you can see, my performance numbers were consistently altered downward, while Vanessa's were inflated. Despite having no prior experience with our clients, she was placed in a senior position while I was demoted. Marcus stood up, face reddening. This is ridiculous. Aitana is clearly bitter about organizational changes. Is she bitter about these numbers too? Elena jumped in, displaying the finance spreadsheets. Finance flagged these discrepancies weeks ago. Vanessa started gathering her things. I didn't know anything about altered metrics. But you did take credit for campaigns you didn't create, I countered. And you told clients I never completed work that was demonstrably finished. Richard stood again. I can confirm everything Aitana is saying. Our team has been discussing moving our business elsewhere if this situation isn't resolved. The room fell silent. CEO Peterson looked grim. Marcus, Vanessa, wait outside, please. Aitana, stay. After an hour of discussions with the executive team, CEO Peterson called Marcus and Vanessa back in. Marcus, you're being removed as department director effective immediately. Vanessa, your position is terminated. 2 days later, CEO Peterson called me into his office. We'd like to offer you the director position with a substantial raise. The team needs your leadership. I smiled. I appreciate the offer, but I've already accepted a position as VP of Client Strategy at Meridian Global. His face fell. That's our biggest competitor. Yes, and they value loyalty and merit. I start next week, and I've already spoken with Richard and several other clients who are considering following me. 3 months later, I sat in my corner office at Meridian, reviewing reports showing a 40% increase in new business, much of it former Premier marketing clients. My phone buzzed with a text from Elena, who'd joined me at Meridian. Did you see Premier's stock dropped again after Q2 results? Word is Marcus is working in his brother-in-law's print shop now. I smiled and turned back to preparing for my executive presentation. Loyalty should be rewarded, not punished, and I had the corner office to prove it. What would you have done in Aitana's position? Is it better to silently leave a toxic workplace or to expose the corruption on your way out? Many would argue that burning bridges is never worth it professionally, while others believe that standing up against injustice helps everyone in the long run. Where do you draw the line between justified revenge and potentially damaging your own reputation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this workplace revenge story, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories like this one. Your support helps this channel grow, and there are plenty more revenge tales coming your way.